All right, now to give us more perspective on this, we're being joined by Professor Peter Kuznick from Washington, D.C. Now, Professor Kuznick is a professor of history and also director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at the American University. Professor Kuznick, thank you very much indeed, sir, for taking time out and speaking to us here on WION. Now, this is an interesting flip-flop of sorts in terms of American policy on the Houthis, where, remember, on the 17th of January, the U.S. State Department had designated the Houthis as a terror outfit because they had started firing on ships in the Red Sea corridor, they said, in solidarity with the Palestinians who are under the pump in the Israeli offensive that is ongoing in the Gaza Strip. But now the United States, which had been carrying out several air raids on Houthi targets in Yemen, have held out this, a carrot of sorts where they say that they are willing to remove the terror attack from the Houthis if they stop firing on ships in the Red Sea corridor. What do you make of this interesting sort of a overture by the United States?
I think you have to parse the American language very, very carefully. They are not offering a quid pro quo. They keep saying they will consider removing the Houthis from the terrorist list if they comply with America's conditions and stop the attacks on the shipping in the Red Sea. But they never said that they would do so. They said they would think about it. They would consider it. If you look at Blinken's words and you look at Lenderking's words, they're very careful to be explicit about not offering any guarantees. So I'm pretty certain that the Houthis are going to ignore this so-called offer.
The Houthis would, of course, want to ignore this offer, but the question that a lot of people would be asking is this. After having carried out so many raids, air raids, and having bombed Houthi targets in Yemen, is the United States of America now perhaps discovering that it is getting sucked into this war, and secondly, it is not able to stop attacks by the Houthis despite the persistent air raids they've carried out on the Houthis in Yemen?
Some of the American military officials in the area are speculating that the Houthis may be running out low on ammunition, on missiles and drones, because the rate of attacks has slowed a little bit in recent days. However, we have to put it in the context of what's going on more broadly with the Israeli attack on the Iranian consulate in Damascus and Iran threatening revenge. It's clear that this is not the moment when the Houthis are going to slow down their attacks. If anything, I'm anticipating an uptick in Houthi attacks. Iran has got to respond in some way. The Israelis have beefed up their defense because they're anticipating an Iranian response. So I don't think this is a time when the Houthis are going to in any way compromise with the United States about the attacks on the shipping.
Right, now,
on top of that,
Professor, my quick final question to you, because we are short on time. Now, the Houthis have said that they'll stop all their attacks on shipping in the Red Sea corridor if Israel stops its offensive in the Gaza Strip. The United States can, of course, lean in on its close ally Israel, which it has been arming to the teeth, and can push for a ceasefire to stop these attacks in the Red Sea as well. Do you think the Americans will do that?
No. I think that Biden is too closely committed to Netanyahu with all the reasons and excuses, both politically in the United States and in terms of international condemnation. The United States has not in any way slowed its support for the Netanyahu government. The United States provides 70% of those weapons, about 30% of that financing. The United States and Israel are joined at the hip right now, despite Biden's claims that he's appalled by much of what is happening.
Absolutely.
And the terrible famine in the area.
A lot of people would, of course, say it is as much Joe Biden's war as it is Netanyahu's. Thank you very much indeed, Professor Kuznick, for joining us and getting us that perspective. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.